has been getting her nails done with her friend Carly pretty regularly lately, and I really like that. It's become her little ritual, a chance to pamper herself, catch up with Carly, and just feel good in her own skin. Watching her slip into that world of bright colors, shimmering finishes, and delicate designs makes me smile. She rarely asks for my opinion about things like that, but a while back, she surprised me by asking, "What color would you like to see wrapped around your favorite thing?" It threw me off guard in a good way. I wasn't prepared for that kind of directness, especially about something so playful and intimate. It was like a switch flipped, sparking a new kind of excitement that caught me completely by surprise. Since then, I can't help but think about her freshly manicured nails whenever I catch a glimpse of her hands or imagine them moving over her body. It's funny how a simple detail can ignite such vivid scenes in your mind. But then again, that's what makes attraction so fascinating, how one small thing can set off a whole chain of feelings. Like most guys, my mind wanders toward intimate thoughts frequently, whether I want it to or not. Anne's beauty, her warmth, and the way she carries herself have always held me captivated. But this new connection to something as specific as her nails adds a fresh layer to the way I see her. There's a certain tenderness in those Sunday mornings when I open my eyes just enough to see her walking barefoot through the house, fresh from the shower, hair still damp and glistening against her bare shoulders. I catch her curves shifting with every step, the sway of her hips, the effortless confidence in her gait. Lately, I pay more attention to the little things like how her fingers brush through her hair or linger along her sides. Since she started grooming in ways she never did before, those moments feel even more intimate, more revealing. It's as if she's sharing a secret part of herself without even trying. When she's away or busy with things, I find myself turning to my phone, flipping open a private album, the one I keep just for us. Over time, I've sneakily saved pictures of her in moments when she didn't realize I was watching. A stray smile, a glimpse of her skin that made my heart race, the soft glow of her face as sunlight filters through the window. It's not about voyeurism so much as it is about cherishing her, capturing pieces of her essence in a way that words sometimes fail to do. I've wanted us to have a real photo shoot together for a long time, not some rushed snapshots or careless selfies, but something with intention, a way of celebrating her beauty, our connection, and those little details that make her uniquely hers. A session where it's just the two of us, relaxed and playful, exploring light and shadow, texture and movement. A time where she could feel truly seen, not just by me, but through the lens, preserving moments of confidence and softness, spontaneity and grace. Imagining that kind of evening fills me with anticipation. I think about how the room might look, soft candles casting flickering shadows, music humming quietly in the background, the scent of something warm and comforting drifting through the air, the kids asleep upstairs, giving us space to be with each other without interruptions. I imagine Anne lounging in something comfortable yet alluring, her hands tracing the curves of her body, her nails glinting under the glow, each click of the camera capturing a story or story. I've even researched online, picking up tips from photographers and models about posing, lighting, and creating an atmosphere that's both intimate and respectful. How to help her feel at ease, how to highlight the details that excite me, the way her nails contrast against her skin, the shimmer of lotion on her arms, the subtle arch of her fingers. The idea that these images could become a private collection of memories, a celebration of trust and affection between us. There's something deeply hopeful about the idea, too. Not just a fantasy, but a tangible Goala moment to look forward to prepare for, to make real. It's a way of turning desire into something creative, something that honors the connection we share. I want her to see herself through my eyes as radiant, vibrant, and utterly captivating. And I want us both to remember that night afterward, whenever we look back at the pictures, feeling the warmth and intimacy all over again. It's strange how the smallest things can grow into the most meaningful symbols. A color on a nail, a soft touch, a shared glance. Those moments tell stories, whisper promises, and build a language that only the two of us understand. For me, this is more than just about the nails or the photo shoot. It's about appreciating Anne, the way she moves, the way she smiles, the way she lets herself be seen, and in that appreciation, finding new ways to connect, to love, and to dream together. There was an electricity in the air that evening when Anne went back to her regular nail appointment with Carly. The fresh polish, the glossy finish, the way her fingers sparkled under the light, it all pulled me deeper into a headspace I hadn't fully acknowledged before. My mind raced with images vibrant and detailed, sparked by the simple sight of her manicured hands. First, I thought about those delicate fingers curling around the things I adored most. Then, the idea of capturing that moment, that intimacy, that tactile pleasure in photos started to take root. It was as if her nails were the invitation, the key to unlocking a fantasy I could no longer ignore. I imagined snapping pictures of that color wrapping around her skin, around me, anywhere and everywhere. The thought felt electric and new, making my usual daydreams suddenly sharper and more vivid. My thoughts scattered like sparks in the dark, jumping between the ways her hands could trace curves or highlight delicate lines, the contrast of vibrant polish on soft, warm skin. But beneath the chaos, a clear idea emerged. I wanted a photo shoot focused on her hands, on touch, on the subtle, sensual choreography between us. It would be about celebrating those small details, the way her nails glisten when wet, how her fingers dance across skin, how her touch can convey so much without a word. I wanted to freeze those moments on camera, not just for myself, but for us, to hold a memory of desire that was both tender and fiery. When I finally voiced the idea to her, I was careful not to pressure or make it sound like an obligation. "Let me pamper you," I said, "by showing off your latest nail design all over your body and on some of mine while I get some photo proof that it happened." I wanted it to feel like a gift, a way of honoring her beauty and our connection, not a task or a favor she had to do. To my relief, she didn't hesitate much. Her eyes lit up with curiosity and a playful spark. We settled on a night when the kids were asleep early, giving us precious quiet time. I prepared the bedroom for the occasion, cleaning and decluttering so the space felt open and inviting. The usual chaos of everyday life was pushed aside. Instead, I lit a few candles that cast flickering, gentle light across the walls and furniture, nothing too dim that it would ruin the photos, but soft enough to create a warm atmosphere. A subtle scent of vanilla filled the air, mixed with a hint of lavender from the candles, setting a calming but sensual scene. I wanted everything to feel special, nothing rushed or forced. Anne enjoyed a drink to help her relax, the kind we rarely take just for ourselves, and sat quietly for a moment, circuits winding down from the day's busy pace. Watching her settle into that relaxed state made me anticipate the experience ahead even more. The idea wasn't just about capturing images, it was about creating a shared experience, one where time slowed and we focused solely on each other's presence and pleasure. Throughout the evening, there was a gentle rhythm to the moments we shared. What started as simple instruction quickly turned into an unspoken conversation, a look, a breath, a slight shift of the hand or tilt of the head. I had picked up some photography tips from online research, and as I guided her through different poses and angles, I tried to keep things light and playful, encouraging her to express herself naturally. Slowly, the camera became less of a tool and more of a witness to our intimacy, gathering proof of connection, desire, and tenderness. That night, the nails weren't just a decoration. They became avowed symbols of attention, care, and allure. Our fingers intertwined and explored, touching softly and deliberately, every movement a dance of light and shadow framed by those lacquered tips. Whether gently resting on her skin or boldly accenting a curve, her hands told the story of desire in a way words never could. I wanted to capture that story in all its honesty and vulnerability, to have something tangible that reminded us both of who we are together when the world quiets down and it's just us. It felt like a new kind of intimate language, rare and precious. More than just a photo shoot, it was a moment to celebrate the beauty we create in each other's presence. The vibrant polish was the spark, but the real fire was in her eyes and in the way she let herself be open, exposed, and powerful all at once. This idea blossomed into something much more than I'd expected, a chance to deepen our connection through shared creativity and trust, shining a light on the parts of us that often stay hidden. We agreed to keep the photos private, a secret collection just for us. a hidden treasure to revisit later when life brought its usual noise and stress. That promise made the moment even more thrilling, a whispered covenant of love and desire, saved in pixels and feeling. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one where fantasy and reality intertwined through the prism of color, light, and touch. And even now, as I run through those memories, I realize how much I'm looking forward to what comes next. We'd already stumbled a couple of times trying to frame certain angles the way I wanted, especially the shots focused on her freshly groomed places framed just right by her new manicure. So this time I decided to prepare everything carefully. I laid out a pair of crotchless panties, the kind with just enough coverage to tease but still reveal, and one of my old white dress shirts. It was a sharp contrast against the colors on her nails and the creamy tone of her skin, and I had a vision of how those pieces would look together under soft light. I wanted the first pose to be simple yet provocative. Anne standing tall, the shirt hanging half open, teasing out the gentle curves of her breasts. I directed her to turn slowly, bending forward just a touch, hands reaching back like she was protectively shielding her behind with the shirt. The fabric clung to her skin, blending modesty and seduction in one frame. Of course, the shirt didn't last long, soon vanished completely, but I was careful to pace the session, not rushing what was quickly turning intense. I'd been reading photography tips online, everything from lighting techniques to posture suggestions, all aimed at making the images glow with warmth and sensuality. One detail stuck with me: coconut oil. It makes skin shine and catch the light beautifully, smoothing over every contour. So I grabbed a small bottle and had her gently rub the oil on her breasts, watching the way it glistened under the lamps. I snapped a few candid shots of her applying it, then moved in for closer details. There she was, crafting a hand bra with her fingers splayed just so, cupping and lifting, the polish on her nails a bright green flash against the silky skin and the subtle pink peaks beneath. The contrast was mesmerizing. I was hard the entire time, caught between admiration and desire, but I reminded myself to savor the moment rather than rush anything. Then came the pose that had started this whole idea, the one where her manicured hands wrapped around me. She took the coconut oil and slathered it over my skin, fingertips sliding across with deliberate tenderness. I positioned myself carefully, snapping close-ups of her hands circling Meslick, shiny, alive. Before I could suggest she move her touch elsewhere, she leaned down, pressing her lips against the tip with a slow, teasing lick and suck. I caught it all in my camera, the softness of her mouth contrasting with the bold colors on her nails. It was intoxicating, but I knew our goal wasn't just the pleasure of the moment, so I coaxed her to move on, to keep the story unfolding. As the session progressed, the focus shifted to her own body. I wanted to capture the rhythm of her hands as they explored and celebrated her own skin. We started with her hands covering her intimate areas, fingers stretching to emphasize curves and angles. Then, with her facing away from me on the bed, she lifted and parted gently, showing glimpses of softness framed by that familiar thigh gap. The light caught every shine, every shadow, painting her with an almost reverent glow. When she lay back down and spread her legs, I guided her hands to frame herself more deliberately. 10 nails on display, the bright polish contrasting vividly with her supple, glowing skin. Her body was energized already, moisture glistening where the camera's flash caught it. The images felt raw and yet tender, intimate without losing a trace of elegance. I gave simple directions to let the mood guide us. Just left hand now, show me that ring I got you. Spread gently with 2 fingers. Pull back slowly, show me your secret pearl. Now wider, slide that middle finger inside. Deeper, you're so wet. Slow pull out, give me that dripping, stringy shot. Anne's trust in me grew with each pose. Face down, hips raised. Grab both cheeks so your polished nails frame the treasure. Now 2 fingers this time. Her movements were quicker now, more confident, as if the camera and I became something she played with rather than feared. I was on the edge the entire session, every sight driving me closer, knowing I wouldn't last long without taking action. I finally dropped the phone and dove in face first, tasting her sweetness, exploring with my tongue every inch of her eager skin. She was nearly trembling, juices running down her legs, driven wild by my attention. There's nothing like the intimacy of sharing that closeness, the ineffable connection made tangible through touch and taste. Even then, I managed to pull back briefly to tell her, "Just a few more shots, baby. You don't even have to open up, just rest your hands by your treasure." I caught close-ups of her swollen, glistening lips, still dripping softly with warmth, before shifting to slide inside her slowly. Her slickness made everything glide smoothly, her tightness bringing overwhelming sensations with every inch. The entire night had built toward this perfect moment. The release powerful and raw, our bodies intertwined. Before pulling out, I grabbed my phone for one last round. Snap, 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 capturing the image of my release slipping out of that gorgeous, open warmth, framed by her perfectly manicured fingers. It was the final piece of our photographic story, desire painted with color, light, and the language of touch. We started the next phase of the shoot with her hands gently covering her most private places, each movement deliberate and tender. The way her manicured nails caught the light, glinting against her soft skin, was mesmerizing. I directed her to turn slowly, giving me shots from behind as she lifted and parted just enough to reveal the delicate curves hidden beneath. Her thigh gap framed the scene perfectly, an unexpected combination of vulnerability and confidence that I was desperate to capture. We moved to the bed, where the atmosphere grew even more electric. With her legs spread, both hands framing her own softness, every movement became a symphony of light and shadow. All 10 nails displayed like jewels, contrasting beautifully with her smooth skin as she parted herself just enough to tease the camera. The heat of the moment was unmistakable. Her desire was visible even in the smallest glistening details. Clear traces of moisture caught the flash, sparkling as if the camera had trapped a secret fire. The rhythm flowed naturally with every pose and direction. I whispered, "Just your left hand now. Show me that ring I bought you. Spread gently with 2 fingers. Slowly pull back. Let me see your pearl. Wider. Slide your middle finger in deeper. There, it's beautiful. I can see just how wet you are. Now slow. Pull out, let me catch those strings that drip." I watched her trust in me build, how she followed each prompt faster, her body relaxing more into the experience. "Face down now, hips up. Grab your cheeks so your nails frame your treasure. 2 fingers this time." I could feel my own control slipping, the air thick with anticipation. The electricity between us was almost too much. My pulse raced, knowing I was seconds from losing control even with the help of medication. The only solution was to stop playing with the camera and dive in face first. As I lowered my head, tasting her, exploring every curve with my tongue, she shuddered beneath me. Juices trickled down her leg, evidence of how much she was turned on by my attention. There's a sacredness in those moments, a silent conversation expressed through touch and taste. She pushed my head gently, a signal that she was overwhelmed in the best way, drawing me back just long enough to tell her, "Just a few more pictures, please. You don't have to open wide, just rest your hands by your secret place." I obliged, carefully snapping shots of her plush, swollen lips, glistening with natural moisture. That pause gave me a chance to shift, sliding inside her slowly, feeling how slick she was, the tightness surrounding me perfectly. The buildup from the entire evening exploded as I reached that peak, my release flooding into her warmth with an intensity that felt almost unstoppable. Afterward, I asked for one last pose. "One more, baby." I pressed my phone's shutter, catching the final frames, the soft remnants escaping from her, dripping past those flawless, manicured fingers. Those intimate images told the story of our shared night, the vivid contrast of color and touch preserved forever. The entire experience was more than just a photo shoot. It was a celebration of our connection, an homage to desire, trust, and the electric beauty we create together. It didn't take long for the tension to build, the sensations weaving through us both until she trembled beneath my touch. My tongue traced every curve with delicate precision, flicking across the sensitive peaks, coaxing her closer and closer to the edge. Her hands found their way to my head, gently pushing away each sensitive spot as I explored, drinking in the warmth and the scent of her desire. Every flick, every suck, every kiss was an intimate conversation without words, a language only our bodies understood. "Just a few more pictures," I whispered between breaths, trying to hold back the urge to lose myself completely. You don't even have to open, just rest your hands by your treasure. The camera caught the raw truth of her swollen lips, glistening with moisture, the tender sheen of our shared warmth smeared softly across her skin. That brief pause gave me the chance to shift, to prepare for what was coming next, sliding inside her carefully with a slow, deliberate rhythm. The slickness between us made every inch glide effortlessly, yet the tightness wrapped around me like a secret only she could hold. Every sensation built on the last, pressure mounting with the weight of the night's anticipation. Then finally, the release flooded through me, deep and uncontrolled, spilling into the warmth I cherished most. The moment was overwhelming, a perfect crescendo to the slow-burning symphony we had composed together before the camera's gaze. Before I could pull away, I reached for my phone once more because the story wasn't over, not yet. Snap, snap, snap. I captured the final frames of that intimate release sliding out of her, framed perfectly by her perfectly manicured fingers. It was the kind of image that told everything without saying a word. The union of passion and beauty, trust and vulnerability, desire and love. In that quiet aftermath, with the soft glow of candles flickering gently and the faint hum of the night outside, we lay together, tangled in the sheets and in each other's warmth. The photoshoot had ended, but its impact lingered, sparking new depths of connection between us. Those pictures, private and treasured, would become our secret archive, a visual memory of a night where time slowed and the world outside faded away. Looking back, I realize it was more than just capturing images. It was about capturing our story told through light and shadow, through touch and color, through whispered encouragements and shared glances. It was a celebration of honesty, desire, and the simple joy of being completely known and seen by another. And as I close my eyes now, those images flicker through my mind, vivid, electric, alive, reminding me of the power of intimacy, the beauty of vulnerability, and the endless possibility held in a single perfect night.